morning, everyone. I am Novame Di Tano, and today we will talk about Chapter 15 Life and Works of Rizal in London. London City, a capital of the United Kingdom, it is among the oldest of the world's great cities. Its history spanning nearly 2 millennia and one of the most cosmopolitan. By far Britain's largest metropolis, it is also the country's economic, transportation, and cultural centre. Rizal chose London to be his new home because of three reasons. First, to improve his knowledge of the English language. Second, to study and annotate Morseas a las Islas Filipinas. Third, London was a safe place to Rizal to carry on his fight against Spanish tyranny.
Good day, everyone. I am Ivan Grace E. Fernandez, a BS Ed Filipino student, and I'm here to report to you the life of Dr. Jose Rizal in London. So, Rizal in London. Rizal lived in London from May 1888 to March 1889. He stayed as a guest at home of Dr. Antonio Regidor, an exile of 1872 and a practicing lawyer in London. By the end of May, Rizal found a modest boarding place at number 37 Chalcot Crescent, Primrose Hill, a border of the Becket family. So Mr. Becket was an organist at St. Paul.
Good day, everyone, especially to you, Mom Leslie. So today, I will continue the discussion about the Rizal life and works on Chapter 15, which is annotating Morgan's book to the La Solidaridad. Annotating Morgan's book was Rizal's significant gaining in London. Most of his time was consumed in the reading room of the British Museum, reading Morgan's book and the narrative ancient of the Philippines. Antonio de Morga Sanchez Garay, also known as Dr. Antonio de Morga, was a Spanish soldier, lawyer, and ranking colonial official for 43 years in the Philippines, New Spain, and also in Peru, where he was a president of the Real Audiencia for 20 years, and also he was a historian. Rizal clarified in his introduction that he got his innovation while he was going in his work in the Nolimi Tanghiri, that is, by represent the attested circumstances of the Philippines. The extremely impact of the Nolimi Tanghiri satisfied him that it was required to know all of us in the previous event we totally in order to appreciate the present today. In 1890, Rizal achieved the magnificent in Paris of his marked publication of Morga's Successos de las Islas Filipinas. It was printed by Garnier Ferris and Professor Blumentritt, the one who was penciled the prologue of annotating Morga's book on September 15, 1888. Rizal revealed the two things which error, the appraising the events of the past in the light of present standards and attacks on the Catholicism. Rizal dictated his new edition to the Filipino so that they would know of their glorious past. His offering was follow, born and reared in the ignorance of our past, like almost all of you, without voice nor authority to speak of what we have not seen nor studied. I deem it necessary to invoke the testimony of the illustrious Spaniards who controlled the destinies of the Philippines at the beginning of its new era and personally witnessed the last days of our ancient nationality. In his eventful death, he demonstrated that the Filipinos were already civilized before the advent of Spain. Rizal wrote this to make us aware and realize that we should not controlled by the Spaniards, and Rizal wants us to show that the Filipino or Philippines are already literate and educated person before the arrival of Spaniards. Rizal had a short visit to Paris and Spain. He visited in Paris in September 1888.
Rizal and the La Solidaridad newspaper. On February 15, 1889, Gariano Lopez Haina founded a patriotic newspaper called La Solidaridad in Barcelona, Spain. La Solidaridad was an organization created in Spain on December 13, 1888. La Solidaridad aims, first, to work peacefully for political and social reforms. Second, to portray the deplorable conditions of the Philippines so that the Spain may remedy them. Third, to oppose the evil force of reaction and medievalism. Fourth, to advocate liberal ideas and progress. Fifth, to champion the legitimate aspiration of the Filipino people to life, democracy, and happiness. Rizal's first article in La Solidaridad. Rizal's first article in La Solidaridad was entitled Lost Agriculture, the Filipino Farmers. It was published on March 25, 1889, 6 days after he left London for Paris. Writings in London. In La Vision del Fray Rodriguez demonstrated two things: may profound knowledge of religion and may biting satire. Rizal received news on Fray Rodriguez unabated attack on his Noli Me Tangere. In defense, he wrote a pamphlet entitled La Vision del Fray Rodriguez. The Vision of Fray Rodriguez, which was published in Barcelona under his name Dimas Ilang. In London, Rizal wrote the famous letter to the young women of Mabulus in Tagalog. He penned it upon the request of Marcelo del Pilar to praise the young ladies of Malolos for their courage to establish a school where they could learn Spanish, despite opposition of Father Philip Garcia, Spanish parish priest of Malolos. Today, we commemorate the anniversary of Rizal letters to the women of Malolos, written on this day in 1889. Rizal was really impressed by their bold move of aspiration of the 20 brave women of Malolos, Bulacan, to study and be educated, a definite move that irked the Spanish friars at that time. This clearly shows Rizal's perspective on women empowerment.
Dr. Frost, editor of Dobner's Record, a journal devoted to Asian studies, requested Rizal to contribute some articles. In response to his request, Rizal prepared 2 articles which were published in June 1889. And the 2 articles are Spicemen of Tagal Folklore. Spicemen of Tagal Folklore has 3 parts such as background, question, why did Rizal go to England, and proverbs. Second is 2 Eastern fables. 2 Eastern fables, Jose Rizal's 2 Eastern fables, the crab and the turtle, also have similar traits of being hardworking and patient. The monkey plays the same part, greedy, malicious, wicked, and revengeful. The Japanese phenomenon 3 is the Philippine banana, which grows and brings forth quicker than any other tree. Romance with Gertrude Beckett. Rizal had a romantic interlude with the oldest of the 3 Beckett sisters, Gertrude, or Gitty. As she was affectionately called, was a buxom English girl with brown hair, blue eyes, and rosy cheeks. I fell in love with Rizal. On cold winter mornings, I had a sunny smile for him, chattering gaily like a hummingbird during the family picnics. I was particularly very happy because Rizal was with them and I gave him all my attention. And in rainy days when Rizal stayed at home, I helped him by mixing his colors for painting or assisted in preparing the day for sculpturing. Their friendship drifted towards romance. Rizal affectionately called her Gitty, as she fondly called him Petey. As their flirtation was fast approaching the point of no return, Rizal suddenly realized that he could not marry Gitty, for he had a mission to fulfill in life. Rizal suppressed the passionate yearning of Gitty's heart and decided to go away so that Gitty may not forget him. Before leaving in the London, Rizal finished 4 sculptures works, such as Prometheus Bond. Prometheus Bond is one of the several clay sculptures made by Jose Rizal in Dapitan, displayed inside Dambana ni Rizal Museum. Second is The Triumph of Death Over Life. Jose Rizal clay sculptures evoking the popular trope of darkness gaining the upper hand. Since 2015, Philippines President Duterte Rodrigo has been waging a war on drugs which relies on extrajudicial assertions of super-effective drugs traffickers and users. The Triumph of Science Over Death. The Triumph of Science Over Death, also known as Ciencia, is a clay sculpture made by Jose Rizal as a gift to his friend Ferdinand Blumentritt. The statue depicts a young nude woman with a flowing hair standing on a skull while bearing a torch. Lastly, a composite carving of the heads of the Beckett sisters gave us a farewell gift to the Beckett sisters. Suddenly, on March 19, 1899, he bade goodbye to the kind Beckett family and left London for Paris. He was sad as he crossed the English Channel, for he cherished so many beautiful memories of London. Adios, London, and thank you for listening.